Hey everybody, I just feel like playing some Sonic the Hedgehog to... Oh. Uh-oh. One second. I may have to rebind my entire controller again. Bindings, I mean, it shows that all the buttons are there. So... okay. Well, that was weird. The simulator is a piece of shit, but apparently this is like the only Sega Genesis emulator still in active development, apparently, and I've traditionally had a couple of jank moments with old Kega Fusion, so at least in terms of how it interacts with OBS. For those of you who are saying, well, why don't you just play this on a cartridge? I don't know where my Sonic 3 cartridge is. I looked for it earlier today and I was like, I swear I have one. And I didn't know what happened to it. I fucking lost Sonic 3. I'm very sad about that. And yeah, I am back. I said that. Anywho, we're gonna start off. We're going to not start the game that way, apparently. We have to press start for that, I guess. Huh. Well, I'll tell you, I haven't played this in probably, like, a while. Gee, mentally, I'm like, it has been like a decade since I've played one of the Genesis Sonic games, hasn't it? I definitely haven't played any of them since Sonic Mania came out. And that's not out of any particular allegiance to Sonic Mania, although Sonic Mania is quite good. It's just sort of happened that way. And goodness knows, Sonic Mania is a couple of years old, actually. Like, it is not as new as mentally I'm just like, oh yeah, that came out like 2 years ago or something at most, right? Fuck no. In fact, it might be more like, might be more like over 5 years old at this point.
I heard the word trombone. It's all I could think of.
Thank you for the 100 bits, as per the norm. Yeah, does anybody know offhand how old Sonic Mania is? Because I think the answer there is going to be, well, I'm going to find it rather upsetting, but it is what it is. Well, yeah, that does stand to reason. Because most video games, well, at least of that sort of variety. Listen, you're older than the 16-bit era, so something that's a throwback to that sort of style is probably going to be even, you know. Anyway, we're here getting blue spheres. And I am going to fuck this up. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, okay, so I'll explain my thought process. That it is that I'm an idiot, and more importantly, I was like, I have to get these later if I want to get all the rings, which is not true. You get that last 4 square over there last in order to get all the rings, because getting all the rings nets you a continue. But I mean, it's Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is not like, it ain't Sonic 1, that's for sure. We'll put it that way. Sonic 3 is a game of like medium difficulty, let's say. You know, the childrens can play it and they will face a little bit of challenge. And so will old fucks like me who can't perform anymore. But comparing it to like a lot of games of this period, and God forbid, a lot of games of the present even, this isn't the worst thing anybody's ever come up with difficulty-wise. And for our efforts, Angel Island gets firebombed. It's basically, it's kind of like what's happening to the Internet Archive right now, except it's a little bit less metaphorical than that. Ooh, fire shield. A bubble shield. That will come in more handy in this level. I want to say that there's, oh no, we'll take the lightning shield. That's like everybody's favorite. I was going to say, I think there's water in this stage. Also, for some reason, the music glitches out in this particular level. And when you enter a bonus round and leave it, bonus stage rather, I guess, it switches over to the Act 2 music. This is something that has always mystified me. And it's like, if there's a like a second most famous glitch in all of video gaming, this would be my pick. You know, obviously the King of the Mountain there is going to be missing, no, but that one, second place. How's it going there, Iron Fury? Hope you're having a day that is, well, not worse than usual, is about as much as it seems like you're ever able to hope for, so not worse than usual it will be, I guess. Not that I necessarily feel particularly good describing it that way, but multitasking, watching this and some baseball, well, I hope your team, the team you root for more, wins the game. Yeah, I just don't want it to sound like I'm being mean about it, I guess. All right, so is this gonna be, oh, this is gonna be a different level. All right, so yeah, I guess who doesn't remember any of the Blue Sphere levels outside of, well, I'd say outside of the first, but we all saw how that went. And if you said, is it, if you asked if it was me, well, you're probably correct. If for some reason you guessed George Wood, that is a very strange thing to say, but I don't disapprove of the mention of the venerable host of, oh god, what was the actual name of his goofy program? It was like Flights of Fantasy or something? I mean, we all know George Wood's weird public access TV thing as being Gaming in the Clinton Years, but it had a real name other than Gaming in the Clinton Years. Which in retrospect is kind of an odd thing to call it. Not that gaming obviously didn't exist before that. I mean, the NES was a Reagan-era invention, but it is like, hey, yeah, maybe my problem is just that I was born in 1990 and I didn't really get my hands on any gaming consoles. Well, our family didn't either until sometime after that. You know, so it definitely feels like a Clinton-era thing when it took off. So, yeah. You were able to find the Super Mario RPG remake for $40. I believe I saw that on sale. I saw a sale being advertised for it, rather, via Cheap Ass Gamer that was selling it for around that price. And considering, you know, the Nintendo tax, that seems pretty reasonable. I am not certain of the actual quality of the Super Mario RPG remake. I've heard from some folks that it speeds stuff up a little bit. Which, come to think of it, is quite nice. that now that you say that to me, it's like, yeah, that game could have done with a little bit of tuning up in that area. But of course, I am a very person who would probably stick to the older version just because of that being what I know and stuff. But hey, it's a good game to get a remake. I'm not going to complain about its existence, that's for sure. It's a good game, more people should play it, etc. And not just for Gino. Now, Thousand Year Door, I do not know very much at all about the quality of Thousand Year Door, period, let alone the remake. Because, yeah, I remember kind of bouncing off of the first Paper Mario a little and then never really thinking about it too much. Also, I gotta think that, like, the GameCube era is probably about when I stopped reading gaming magazines. I seem to recall feeling like I completely missed out on its existence full stop until several years later. So, yeah, not for nothing. So it's pretty good. All right. I may have to look into that at some point. Admittedly, sources for that outside of actually tracking down a cart and buying it for however much it would be used. Which is to say that by the time I can afford it, it'll be more than it was when it was new or something. But, you know, any of that discussion aside, yeah, sources other than buying a cartridge of the remake are getting a little bit drier for a variety of reasons. A variety of reasons that are all pretty much about the same, actually, but I digress. Oh, I remembered this part of this little bonus level. Jump over that last ball in order to get a perfect. Is there a lot of stuff that... I say that mostly because I haven't paid a ton of attention to all the new releases, period. Oh, yeah, right. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. Yeah, that... I don't know why I thought that was coming out, like, much later, but now that you mention it, I think what I heard was final trailer for the most recent one. So, yeah, I think it is very interesting to see, by the way, Shadow getting, like, a bit of a renaissance as a character. Like, it's nice to see people treat Shadow as being not just like, oh, hey, he's part of this wave of... They had all these dark mirror, not really Shadow archetypes of characters in the aughts. You know, it was kind of cringy looking back on it. It's nice to see that there are people who are like, hey, yeah, actually Shadow is cool. A redemption for Ow the Edge. Fair enough. I'm a little less harsh on Shadow than I think some people are, but I do acknowledge that Shadow was still kind of it had issues. Alright, can we, no, I think doing that's gonna be a little rough. Ah, my rings! Oh no, my points! Oh, damn it! Oh, no, that's the one that actually is so gets me sore. Nice. I need to go back and look through what there is for a lot of those, because yeah, I mean, I'll say it, I think Sonic 06 had ideas. What it didn't have was execution. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not gonna say that it's like, oh yeah, it's necessarily without any sort of... Because, I mean, this is still the... Oh, I'm just embarrassing myself here. Whoo, boy. Everybody look away for a couple minutes. It's gonna take me a sec to do this, apparently. I mean, 06 had, like, some actual level ideas that were not terrible. And then you have Flame Core, a level that's awful for every single campaign. And while I don't remember everything about Sonic 06, Flame Core ends up being kind of like the most memorable level to me as just being the absolute most dog shit. Probably just for that. Like, I'll take the... Oh, now that's just mean. That part of the bridge wasn't even gone. Alright, fine. I'll play it safe. God, game, you're worse than my mom. Ugh. What are you, my chemistry professor, telling me not to lick that? That's a really weird thing to say. Oh my god, I'm only barely alright. It's going alright. We're jobbing to this first boss a couple of times because I suck with the bottomless pits. Like, so I want to say this, that the first thing that I can think of on this is how it is always kind of a... Turn that thing down out there! Sorry. Well, I mean, yeah, I just was like, I forgot this. The thing I've learned over the years, Fury, about sports is that, and this is just sort of a general, like, general you, not one person or the other. Oh, hey, we were almost in drowning music there. Is that no matter who one's favorite team rather, they are always going to be very specifically able to absolutely fuck the game away at the last second. Aquapolis Zone is... pardon me, Hydra City Zone, not Aquapolis. What the hell is that? Aquapolis? God. Don't listen to me. Pardon me. Hydra City Zone is... okay, and then Act 2 happens. And Hydro City Act 2 is genuinely kind of awful. That's kind of a dick move too, but like, wow, all right. Yeah, I saw that coming. Area on the right when I drop down. Oh yeah, that thing. Getting to that is kind of tough unless you just tails fly up there. I think that would require me to have a second controller set though. So, big meh to that. Anyway, yeah, I seem to recall Hydro City Act 1 being not so bad, although, again, we are absolutely playing like we haven't played one of these games in 10 years, which, to be fair, I haven't played a Sonic in a while, and the last time I played this probably is before Sonic Mania came out. So yeah, I mean, there probably is going to be a little bit of a non-skill. Oh, boo earns! Even worse is that lag. Ooh. Oh, wow, that's a hell of a bounce we got there. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be that extreme. Probably only works with the Knuckles add-on, or I forgot. Hey, look, it's the music. Yeah, so I don't recall Act 1 being that bad. Although, again, clearly we're playing it very not well. Act 2 is where I recall things kind of turning into absolute butt. For a nice, wide variety of reasons. Well, I don't remember where, like, half of those are, and also, I'm going to be... I'm gonna... Wow, alright. Okay, dude, sure. Just start waiting for me, why don't you? It's kind of like getting reverse spawn camped or something. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, so... I'm actually one of the what I suspect are very few people who would say this, but, I generally would rather not have a full set of Chaos Emeralds. Because I'm not a huge fan of going into Super Mode most of the time. And having that in, especially in this game, this is one where you have a very major thing that you can see me demonstrating here quite frequently in a way that's non-useful. If you hit over 50 rings, it starts interfering with your shield usage. But I will go for this one because it's right here. I know that. I mean, I don't know where the giant rings are, and because those are things that, well, you'd have to actually find. And then, of course, I'd have to find some skill when it comes to any of these particular mini-games. Keep in mind, I don't know... Oh, God. That had me quite worried. And... Oh. Oops. I didn't do that on purpose. I was playing badly. I was trying to get to that last orb because we jumped over it. Apparently. Did they not mets it up there, Fury? Nice. Well, congratulations to Team Maturing here. the team you're cheering for. The Mets and, well, and individually, all of the guys who were there, especially the ones who played. The others, well, they can get the congratulations too. Also, that one doesn't have the usual mini boss music. That has the zone boss music. That's weird. That'll be a bit of a segue away from me saying things that sound terrible. But here's something that'll sound terrible in a completely different way. The beginning of this level sucks. Oh god. Okay, good. We got the goalpost that saves like 2 seconds. No, 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 no! I'm holding down, game! Was I really not out of the air yet? Pausing for a second. I need... Clearly I need like a quick drop function or of some kind in this game. Give me a shoulder button or something that I can hold to just drop like a frickin' stone. Oh wait, no, we're on the Genesis. Never mind. Well, I guess you get the mode button on the 6th button pad. That's as close as you're ever gonna get. What did I say? Hydro City Zone Act 2 is shit. This is like genuinely a very, very not good level. Bullpucky! You're really gonna give me that one as a not give me that? Listen. I'm a little frustrated right now because... Yeah, okay, so I can't be on the curve at all when I crouch. Otherwise, it's like, hey, yeah, die. This is actually... That kind of makes this worse than I remember it being. To be quite honest with you. But we finally managed to not die. Great Jared there, Hamstray. Yeah, exactly. Wait. Oh, I've been thinking about Homestar Runner stuff a surprising amount lately, actually. Alright, now give me a hand, buddy. Yeah, off we go. This level is just rude as hell. I'm gonna be honest, the way this is going, I'll be surprised if we can clear this without having to like restart or something. Man, I knew I wasn't going to necessarily perform at the best anybody's ever seen. But jeez. Even by my poor standards, I'm feeling a little embarrassed of this. That looked like there was something over there, but we can't get it now. Ah! Excuse me. Yeah, that expression that Sonic was making there you weren't quite able to see, that's about the face that I've been making this entire time. Oh, well, we got a 1-up at least. Hooray. Can you let me back in there? Yes, give me the invincibility. Because at this rate, I feel like I need it. Alright. And hand. Get on the weird drum. These spinning things. Yeah, you can see why this level can be a little bit frustrating too, by the way, because we're doing a lot of like left and right motion. So it's a little hard to... Oh, boo. Right in the forehead. Oh, what, the Barrel of Doom? Yeah. That absolutely hilarious device. And by hilarious, I mean... someone thought that was a good idea. Listen, there are many reasons why we should look at Sega in the 90s and be like, you guys were absolutely out of your minds. Whether it's the advertisements or the monster named Prophallus in Phantasy Star 4, but I think the Barrel of Death has to be like probably one of the most insane things that Sega was like, yeah, this is a good idea. Absolutely ludicrous. Now this thing's a little bit weird, if I recall correctly, in terms of fighting it. Also because getting multiple hits is not really an easy thing to do here. Like, if I recall correctly, a way that you can do it involves, yeah, you get on the depth charges, and then you kind of lose count of how many times you land hits there. And then you lose all your rings, and that happens to you. And you just sort of feel silly. And when you respawn, you technically are starting, like, right inside the boss fight, which is really something. Damn you, Tails! You know what? Why don't you do all the work, buddy? Do you want to be over here getting me hit all the time? Six, seven. Come on, Tails! Don't... never mind. You fucked it up. Oh, no good depth charges on that cycle. There we go. I don't know how that was worth a life, apparently, but it's because we crossed a 50,000 point threshold, isn't it? I wasn't even paying attention to that, and I just looked up, and it's like, oh yeah. All right. Sorry, I just bonked my mic arm with my real arm there. This level, this is one that I feel is a little bit underrated in the entirety of Sonic. This theme too. But I mean, I guess that, like, to be fair, people are like, hey, this is also the game that has Ice Cap Zone. And I mean, yeah, that one's notable for good cause. By the way, I did actually buy a copy of that record. Not the one that has the song that piece of music was originally derived from. Sadly, that is like a special release that is apparently so rare I haven't really seen copies of it for sale, period. But the original Jetsons EP, I did buy that a couple years ago. And I'll say this, they left most of their best songs off of that. In the, like, 1 year that they were an actual recording act. And for those of you who are not fully aware of what I'm referring to, the Jetsons were a new wave band back in about 1982 that included one Brad Buxer in the lineup, who is a guy who did some of the music on here. There's been a lot of speculation about the involvement of Michael Jackson in this game's soundtrack. And very specifically, a thing that is known is that Brad Buxer, who was one of Michael Jackson's sound guys, did some work on the soundtrack, including porting some music that was inspired by a few things from his old band over to this game. Most notably, the tune from the Ice Cap Zone is very reminiscent of a song that they recorded but did not put on the EP for some reason, called Hard Times. And it's a very good song. It is notably better than the things that they officially released within the group's lifetime. They had another song on that special release called When the Sun Goes Down that I think is actually significantly better. There's no fucking way I can get away with playing it for you, though, but, you know, well, it is what it is, you know. Copyright laws are fucked up, but you don't need me to tell you that. Why'd I do that? Because my brain switched off, that's why. Oh, well. I think I probably was just like, what the hell is this? That looked a little bit more like one of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles Blue Sphere stages, which are genuinely, like, very confusing. A couple of the ones in core Sonic 3 are pretty rough, but the ones in S3K for the Hyper Emeralds? I don't remember offhand what they're called. Personally, I just call them things that I very rarely get, because they're things that I very rarely get. Super Emeralds, okay, pardon me. Yeah. Those stages are just the sort of thing that I will look at and just be like, what? If I, like, memorize them, that would obviously help things out a little bit, but that's kind of true of most games of skill, where if you memorize the process of doing the skillful thing. Tails? Oh yeah, I've messed around with the debug mode in this game before. There's some interesting stuff you can do with that. Oh, also, fun fact, this is the only zone in the entire base game that has no water. I'm not sure why every other zone in Sonic 3 has water in it. Is it because they had more shields and they wanted to make that more of a hazard, because water removes most of your shields that aren't the bubble shield? I remember the earthquake sequences in this level really freaking me out as a kid, by the way. Between that and the amount of fear that I had surrounding, like, anything to do with lava, I must have just been, like, really worried about anything related to seismic events. I am not completely confident as to why. Ah! Wow. I tried to avoid that twice and both attempts failed. Alright, now, Tails, if you could avoid getting me killed in the future. I mean, it hasn't happened in about 2 minutes, but I'm sure that any day now we're due to get absolutely annihilated. Oh. Well, now that was just rude, sir. I know that's not really a double jump, but I try to do it like a double jump anyway. Mega Man clearly just needs some tougher shoes. And to stop being in games like Mega Man and Bass. Or, much as I hate to say it, a lot of Mega Man games in general. I love the Mega Man series, but it's quite amazing how many of them are not all that... Oh. Well, I thought the signpost was going to be warning me about something in a different direction there, but no, it's just telling me a way to go. Ah! Now that time there's a... Oh, thank goodness we get an invincibility. Which isn't going to help me because now I'm going to fail the platform. Platforming. Okay, well, we lived through... Oh, you jerks. Love the fire shield, by the way. That massive air dash is so cool. When I get to keep it anyway. Like, I think genuinely a nice thing is that they were like, hey, yeah, we're going to make all these different shields, but they're also all going to be kind of cool in their own way. Like, the lightning shield's magnet power is nice, obviously. Very helpful for purposes of giving you things that let you not die. Oh, that thing is up real high. But it is reachable. Which was a legitimate concern. The bubble shield just kind of obviates water as an obstacle full stop, which should be obvious why that rules. What do you mean I don't have to worry about drowning? Thank goodness. And then this thing is just like, hey, yeah. You want to go real fast when you jump? I was gonna say, isn't this supposed to start moving? And yeah, it just took it a second. Ah! Not the place, nor the time. I knew we were at the end when I saw that starting to go faster, but I didn't remember that that was the thing that it did. Also, isn't there some variant of this level where platforming on the weird spiky dirt column gets you something? Like, that sounds like a thing that is in the, like, Knuckles version of the level or something. Crap. Now, of course, this is a very, very odd boss fight. Because you see, Tails actually can hold you forever. In all the other platforming instances, he's just being a lazy bum. Also, of course, there's the pits. And quite frankly, just Robotnik's whole movement pattern here is very weird. He does all these drill drives, and then he just goes into the background like that. Sir, I'm not confident I understand what you are... Oh. Well, that wasn't great. Also, is this really as close as we get a checkpoint post game? So we still have to, like, avoid 8 things that want to eat our lunch? Bit unusual for this game, anyway. Alright, now if we could avoid losing all of our rings would be pretty good. So that means, Tails, I need you to behave. But I also would appreciate if you could land a hit on there. Okay, yeah, so we gain, like, no height from jumping out of Tails' hands here. What do we got? 4 hits on him so far? That'll be 5. Wow, Tails, now you're overperforming. 6. Shit. Now I gotta play carefully. I'm screwed. Oh, well, I guess we had 7 when I said 6. Yeah, that boss is a little weird. Actually, I feel like most of the Act 2 bosses are kind of funky in this game. Come to think of it. Ah, yes. This piece of music. If I recall correctly, it has been pointed out that this also resembles a Michael Jackson song. More particularly, though, I associate this with a specific YouTuber who included it in a couple of his videos as background music, specifically when he was talking about games where they didn't have soundtracks. Because he did used to do a lot of stuff that was like old PC shit when a lot of PC games didn't really have great amounts of music going on. You know, back in the DOS, early Windows, kind of early 90s to 1995 sort of era. Come to a full and complete stop, Sonic. There we go. Is there gambling utilities in this? I don't remember. Yeah, there's gotta be, right? This isn't Spring Yard. There's gambling doodads. And there's these incredibly bizarre looking things. What's in? Oh, yeah, it's one of these things. All right. Hey, I was still trying to get a... Well, I fucked up the perfect, so I guess let's just try to complete this as best we can. This seems vaguely familiar, actually, as a layout of... like... Those little 4 squares are kind of like 2 sets of 2, basically, and you kind of make a couple of laps around this spheroid. You know, this looping map that is only technically a sphere. Oh, oops. I'm very out of practice with these. But of course, you can tell I'm over here like, I sort of remember. We got to continue. Who cares? That's fine. It's fine. That means that we at the very least have a chance of like actually maybe beating the final boss. Listen, I am doing badly enough to Doom Post on that level. We'll take it! I missed the replay, but whatever. I also missed the shield, which would have been nice. But, hey. Also, playing a classic Sonic game like this again does have me thinking about one particular thing, which is that I think it's quite interesting that the 3D era Sonics, they kept all the, like, the classic ring sounds, right? For gaining and for losing them. But they changed that spring noise, which is weird because to me, that's like always been this thing that's just sort of stuck in my head constantly. So not hearing it in those games always felt a little bit off. Granted, speaking of things that sound a little bit off, I'm sure that to some folks right now, it does sound a little bit off hearing this mini-boss theme and not the you know, the more intensive heavy metal one that was changed out in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Also, of course, we lose our rings at the very end there because, you know, it's a good thing the points only kind of matter. I mean, it's gonna be a while before we can get another one-up from points. But it's the principle of the thing, damn it! I don't care that much, actually. Oh! Oh, I missed. Do those balloons have air bubbles in them? Yeah, see, I think the thing that a lot of people forget about this stage is that, yes, this is a stage that has gratuitous Sonic 3 water. You know, people, and quite rightly so, people remember the fucking barrel. But I think the water is one that doesn't get remembered quite as much in this level. But it really does go a long way to show just how incredibly toxic the design ethic was here. Like, I've played mobile games that hate their player base less than that. Man, now you're just being a jerk, game. There we go, that's better. I think it was impressed with my ability to avoid saying the phrase "fuck you," that it was just like, yeah, okay, we'll let you pass. And to be fair, that's not unreasonable. Oh, hey, look, it's a thing that's absolutely not going to last in this level. The shield or the rings? Yes. What? What the? Well, that was real cool. Never mind, we're back on the swearing train. Fuck you, game. That was some real bullshit. Maybe it was just buttering me up to get ready for the actual pain. Speaking of pain, here comes this thing. This is a color scheme, by the way. Not one that I would willingly use for any of my anythings, but it is still technically a... Oops. Ugh. The grid... The hard grid lock... Like, obviously I know why it's like that. But I still kind of suck at it. It's like, have any of you played the original Star Tropics, by any chance? I'm sure somebody in here is aware of Star Tropics. I love Star Tropics, the first Star Tropics, not so much Zoda's Revenge. Oh god, I thought I was gonna die there. And I was prepared to be sad. But the original Star Tropics does have that very hard grid-locked motion that quite frequently makes things very difficult for you, because it's like you'll want to do an action while you're in the middle of a move. Or you'll be like, oh shit, I desperately need to retract that motion. And on some level, the Blue Spheres minigame is reminds me a little bit of that. And let me tell you, I don't think most people are likely to compare that to Star Tropics anytime soon. So, well, so much for any possibility of me becoming a professional video game writer, I suppose. Can't even use the right cliches or something. All right, now kill this bat real quick, because we've seen that if we don't, we're going to have a bad time. We're going to have a bat time, even. Same bat time, same bat channel. Anyway, yeah, so Star Tropics 1 and 2 are among the, especially comparatively, small number of my joke was just that, like, I was saying something that was really, really out there as a comparison. Because I was comparing the Blue Sphere bonus stages in this game to the gameplay of the original Star Tropics. Very specifically in how the grid motion causes you problems. and saying, yeah, basically kind of making fun of the fact that there have been a non-zero amount of instances of... Oh, wow, that not only killed the lights, but it brought the water way high up. Thanks, Knuckles! Man, it's not the working with Dr. Robotnik thing that gets me, it's just the fact that he's such a jerk. Like, come on, man. Also, was there a... Okay, yeah, air bubbles in the balloons. Anyway, yeah. I don't own a ton of NES games, but I do own both of the Star Tropics games because I like them quite a bit. I'm trying to place if I can recall, like, what all else I have for the NES. I've got Mega Man 3 because major nostalgia. Mega Man 3 is definitely not the best Mega Man game, not even with the NES era, I don't think. Has some notable rough spots, but it's one that I have a strong nostalgic attachment to, for being one of my very earliest video game memories entirely. Yes, I do have a copy of Shadowgate, but not Battletoads. I don't own Battletoads. Speaking of Shadowgate, I also, pardon me, I also own Deja Vu, which is another adventure game in the same sort of tradition, made by, originally made by a company called ICOM, I believe, for the Mac back in the mid-80s. Yes, back when the Mac had games. Although, actually, I'm pretty sure that problem is significantly lessened nowadays. But let me tell you, back in the late aughts / 2010s, Mac OS was not really known for video games, to put it nicely. Yeah, they were originally made by ICOM, and then they were ported over by Kemco. So, yes, adventure games on the NES, they do exist. I believe Nightshade, a game which was made infamous by JonTron, which probably means that for me to bring it up is probably making people have questions, is also very much of an adventure game. Adventure games on console, I think, are probably still a very strange prospect in general to a lot of folks. But I own a surprising amount of them. I do also own... The only Sega Saturn game I own is Myst for the Sega Saturn, which is weird, because why would you... Just why? I own Myst for, like, actual platforms, too. By the way. I don't even own a Saturn, so I haven't played the Saturn version of Myst. But I also own Riven for the PS1, which is one of the games with the most discs. And by that, I mean, I believe it's the game with the most discs in English at 5 CDs for the PS1. So, a pretty interesting little historical curio, even aside from the fact that, hey, it's Riven for the PS1. Anywho, I of course own the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt twofer. In fact, at the time that I had gotten my NES, I did not have them. And I went to a game store that is in this general area that no longer exists. The owner, you know, was like checking me out, purchasing some of the retro games when I had a little bit of cash there. I used to go there to play Magic, but they were mostly a video game store. And I had bought something for the NES there, and he's like, do you have this? And I didn't, and he just gave it to me, which was real funny, but also extremely generous. I own Mario Bros. SMB 3, because again, SMB3 is another one of those games that's just like, hey, yeah, this is a personal favorite. I really can't avoid having that one in there. And this is a boss that is slow as butts, if I recall correctly. Even at the best of times. And that's not great because we have a minute to watch this asswipe not get on screen, basically. Okay, so how does this work? No, help me. I don't actually know how this works. Well, whatever. It ends with us dying is the main thing here. So yeah, interesting though about Shadowgate having a weird mistranslation like that. That seems like a pretty big thing to screw up, really. I'm trying to place what else I have for the NES offhand. Kickle Cubicle, which is a very oddly named puzzle game. It had a much more mundane name in Japanese that like translated to Labyrinth World or something. So I suppose the name Kickle came from because it's like a little weird child-ish thing that kicks around ice blocks in order to fill in paths. That way it can grab all the everything. No Guardian Legend, no. That did, however, remind me that I own Final Fantasy. Alright, Tails, can you, like, get some hits in there for me, buddy? Ugh! Oh god, the suction force on that is rough! You just can't get out of that, period. Alright. So I guess don't try to bait Tails into doing work for you, because A, he won't, and B, it'll just end up with you dying. And I want to say that's all the NES carts that I own, but I could go have a look again at some point. Yeah, my video game collection of, like, physical stuff is actually quite small, which is quite sad, but you know, that stuff's expensive nowadays. At the very least, I kept a lot of my old GBA era stuff. So, like, I remember a while ago, I was looking to see how much Metroid Fusion was. And I think this is probably pretty close to back when Dread was about to come out. And I remember seeing them on eBay mostly for like 80 bucks for Metroid Fusion, which seems pretty hefty because the time before that I had last seen a copy of it in the wild was back in the days when GameStop was still selling stuff of that vintage, and they were selling just the cartridge for $8. So, hey, yeah. 1000% multiplier there for just a couple of years of waiting around. And yeah, here's that piece of music that I mentioned earlier in the stream. But yeah, I'm glad I kept my copy of Metroid Fusion that I had bought at the time that it came out then. It's a good game, but being as it is a Game Boy Advance game, and 80 bucks is twice what it cost at the time, as far as I can remember, I would say that isn't really worth it. But, again, as we said before, retro game prices are... yeah, there aren't a whole lot of good times to start getting into collecting, I'd say. And now is definitely not exactly one of them. But I highly doubt it's going to get better anytime soon. Still though, that's got to be worth something. He is, yeah, Path of Radiance. Like, geez, Nintendo and Insys. I admit that I don't keep up with Fire Emblem Heroes, so I don't really know what it's like in terms of that angle of things, but it really is like Nintendo and Insys are just like, what the fuck is Atelius, right? Actually, if Fire Emblem Heroes is anything like what it was last time I heard anything about it, 99% of the characters are just from the 3DS games, other than Shadows of Valentia and Three Houses. Because, you know, sales numbers, which, okay, but also this is a long-running series that is notably rather niche. Tails, are you gonna keep like... Oh, you're not gonna get the one that matters, alright. That's what I get for complaining, but... Yeah, like, I don't know, I feel that there has to be a point where if you're the person who's making the decisions for who to include in Fire Emblem Heroes, like... Fire Emblem is a very long-running series with a cult following. Shouldn't you at least be like, hey, yeah, let's not just pick the things that sold stupidly well? What if we tried asking long-running fans, or even looking at, like, review scores or stuff? Because let me tell you something, Fire Emblem Fates is not exactly a well-regarded game. Wow, this is a jump that I'm real bad at. Yeah, Path of Radiance is definitely not cheap, that's for sure. Oh, let's go back and get some of these things. Alright, can we get a fire shield or something? I'll take a lightning shield. Fire shield. That's pretty nice. Oh, not the bubble it's okay. I mean, it's a shield still, but eh. Shockingly easy mini-boss there. I mean, that's way better than I've done at, like, anything in this game. Hooray! My rings counted for something, I guess. I wonder if we're even gonna hit, I wonder if we're even gonna hit 200k before I finish this, rather. And yeah, here we go, the water in Ice Cap Zone, because that's what it needs. Ah! Oh, no, that was just rude. You even took my shield away, game. I get the picture. Sheesh. You have to salt the earth so nothing could ever grow there again? I mean, yeah, somewhat. More than in Carnival Night Zone, that's for sure. Or that was just the developers being malicious. Is there a way to break out of that faster, or am I making a mistake? Ow. Another instance of the game just being plain old rude. Oh. Oh right, this is the spot where there's the Robotnik monitors. Tails, don't tails it up for me, all right? Oh, Tails, you are causing problems for this. Oh, boy. Shit. Personally, I blame Tails for that one. As one should. Okay, I was gonna say, are we dead? We're not dead. We're just pushed backwards, because, yeah. Ah! Fuck! I did it again. Made the exact same mistake twice in a row. There we go. All right. Now, let's try not screwing this up. A little hard to do that, but yeah. Huh? Can I not go that way? Oh, no, there we go. Huh. Now that was just kind of bizarre. Nah, I think I'll take my chances with the Crushers game. Crushionators. Ah, here we go. Here's our old pal Robotnik. In a strange machine, alright. Easy. I'd say I remember that being a lot harder, but I don't remember it at all, so, Yeah, you just keep doing that, Tails. Ah, yes, here we are. Yet more of the forbidden music. Tails? And yeah, this is the zone where we have the Orbeez to follow your movements, or at least they move only when you do. I mean, I guess that's a type of following your movements. Even if it involves no further complexity of the tracking whatsoever. Oh, you butt. Yeah, basically. Shit. I'm feeling quite I don't know what killed me there. So that was fun. Yeah, don't know why I died, because I didn't see anything. That laser beam was still charging up. Like, was there something hidden in the track that path was taking? It did kind of look like a little weird diamond shape in the floor. But I sure don't remember there being anything to worry about in those. Also, you can tell I really don't remember where any of the enemies are here. Carefully so we don't get shot and lose our tiny amount of rings. It's a good thing that even though that makes the, like, the sort of hit and lose a shield or a life sound, that doesn't actually take away your shield. However, landing on top of that weird frog thing sure did, because I screwed up the jump there because I went for the extra rings. Because, hey, why wouldn't we take more lives, right? In case anyone has had any doubts, I need those. Because I'm not good at this game. Not anymore. I thought for sure I could have got through that, but I suppose not. Hey! Is that what it was? Did I... What, I touched the edge of the laser gun or something last time? Could be. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to actually, like, rewind and look at the footage to tell for sure, but... That sounds like the most probable thing, because I definitely didn't run into any hidden spike that time. And the laser beam, as we saw, hadn't cast yet. Oh, that was just badly done. The laser beam hadn't been shot yet, so it couldn't have been that. At least I don't think it could have been that. Hey. I'd ask if you minded, but, I mean... Oops. As you can tell, yes, it does mind. Maybe one day I'll, like, not suck at these games. Once again, but, I wouldn't count on it anytime soon. Ah. Oh yeah, I can understand why they changed that. Again, I'm telling you, 90s Sega of America was out of their absolute minds. And yet Prophallus remained in Phantasy Star 4. That one's on my mind because I literally just wrote something about it like yesterday, so... Okay, I'm a little worried right now as to how many good paths I have left, because yeah, this place gets a little bit my memory is not so good, kind of. I remember one main thing about Launch Base Zone, which is that Act 2 has water for some reason. Oh yeah, this mini-boss is kind of a pain in the ass. Rude. But I could have sworn that was the setup for a cutscene effect, not a thing we actually have to make a real jump. Although again, my memory is not great. Okay, so you're just fucked if you do that. Okay. That's interesting. Hey, thank goodness we just restart right here. After having to eat a continue for that. Although again, if they're just gonna throw that out there, is not really a lot of, these continues really haven't got a whole lot of value then. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. See, I remember the building crumbling, but I didn't remember how it... That's a lot of gunpowder you packed into that bomb there. Old Knuckles, man. Yeah, these things kind of suck because, like, most of the time, you're basically gonna get hit anyway. It's not even like, oh, hey, yeah, Tails is fucking it up for me. Did you find another one of these, too? No. I'm just imagining it. Oh, also, by the way, our score is gone because we used to continue, which, to be fair, is completely normal, so... Well, also for your score to get eliminated when you use a continue. That's like, yeah, what do you expect, especially in a game in this era, right? Ugh. I was worried that that wasn't going to happen well and trying to cover it. Man, I just get hit by these things every time, don't I? The dumb little mace frogs. Like, I just suck at... very specifically, them more than anything else. It seems like. Like, oh yeah, a thing exists, let me get right in its hurt box. I love how that was attached to one of the boxes that mini boss was in, by the way. There's something kind of funny about that. Fuck off, man! I guess that... Oh, the mace fist things have to be a hurt box also. Oh, better watch out for those. Dang it, I need at least one of those rings to not die. Oh, I thought we were at the very bottom of the map there for a second. It's about to be like, wow, that's never a thing that happens very much in a Sonic game. It's a good thing we keep getting at least one of those rings back. Oh yeah, here you actually get to go on the water hose. And it does this, and just get the rings. You clearly don't need the Robotnik box. Why is there just archways that drop lasers? That's a weird hazard. But I remember those now that I see them. Probably because I thought they were always a little bit befuddling. I guess it is sort of part of the security system or something, but still. An odd choice. And also an odd choice in the level with all this water to put a fire shield right there. I mean, I wouldn't complain about it, but also, like, I have a feeling it wouldn't last, you know? Nice, we somehow managed to actually hit that properly. I gotta admit, when I saw we didn't reach it with our normal, air quotes, double jump, I was a little bit concerned. Ooh, our rings are gone. Well, can we get at least... Oh. Simple pattern to that boss, thankfully. I got greedy. Also, this is neat. It is a cutscene, basically, but still. Ah, Knuckles, you fool. I didn't know you could do that, because I thought there was an invisible wall there. Maybe it just isn't complete, basically. Yeah, no, I knew what you were talking about. Anyway, this is where we get the basically the final stage, sort of boss rush. Although, I mean, that's not really the right phrase, because boss rush, you say that and people think, oh yeah, refighting old bosses. But yeah, 3 in a row. You get the weird cannon. You get the triple stacker here. Be careful of the little ball around it. And lastly, you get, of course, probably the real reason to play this one for this theme. Yeah, there you go. Boss Gauntlet is also appropriate for what this thing is. We got Big Arm here. And I am the suck at actually fighting this thing, but of course it's been years, so like, what you expect, right? Alright, come on. Yeah, in true final Sonic boss fashion, Big Arm is very dangerous to hit anywhere except for a fairly small hitbox. However, unlike, say, Sonic 2, it's not necessarily guaranteed death because you do have rings. Unfortunately, there's also no save between boss fights in this, so, and by save, I mean, like, any sort of, you know, checkpoint or anything, either. Yeah, so, there we go. That's Mash A, the boss. Can't lie, I'm tempted to save state in the middle of the gauntlet, but, I'm feeling confident in myself for once that I can actually do this. It's been a minute since I've played Sonic 2 either, but I definitely remember the Wing Fortress boss being very annoying. And I think the Death Egg robot was pretty painful at times too, but mostly what I remember from that is just very specifically that the robot Sonic in that one that I forget which name it is. It's not Silver Sonic, right? Silver Sonic is from the it's from one of the Game Gear games, I believe. Right? Metal Sonic is the blue guy that you face in Sonic CD and a couple others, though. I don't think it is Metal Sonic, but I could be wrong. I mean, it could be like multiple just Metal Sonics, because, well, good simple name. Ah, crap. I think Big Arm takes 12 hits, by the way. And we're at 4 now. 5. He got me with the elbow drop. That's right. Robotnik gave me the people's elbow or something. Oh. Suddenly that confidence seems to be going down the turlet. That was pretty badly done, not gonna lie. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, good job with that one, Sanic. Go get the ring. Oh boy, that's not good. That cheeses me off a little bit because we usually don't end up getting like right up next to him like that. So I completely was not expecting that to go that way. So I think most of what I can say about that is fuck. Yeah, I didn't remember all of the difference. Yeah, that was bound to happen. All right, so you know what? I actually am gonna just. I don't remember how to save. Oh no, the save stating is quite easy actually. All right, now don't crash, emulator. Okay, good, it didn't crash. Because yeah, we're on our last continue in our last life, which I mean we quite frankly would not be if it weren't for the fact that we had somehow gotten up onto that ledge that time, which is some very odd behavior. Also, I only really paid attention this time, but the cannonballs coming out of the top shot do have some different behaviors, don't they? Like sometimes they'll break on the ramp, sometimes they'll go up and then they'll roll back down. Huh. Interesting to see that in what otherwise seems like a pretty simple boss. No, my ring! Shit. This is probably gonna require a reload in a second. Yeah. I got spike balled there. Well. Wait, do I have another continue? Huh. So what, do I have like -1 continues now or something? I thought usually that signified infinite, but not as in the character from Sonic Forces. Hey, you know what, Tails? You actually managed to not fuck up. I'm proud of you. No, I was still unable to re-grab the ring. Shit. I thought I was about to dodge that time, so that's why I'm more disappointed. Oh. Alright, now Tails, if you can just do what you did before, I mean, that would make my life significantly easier. But I really shouldn't hold out much hope, because Tails is just gonna do Tails things, really, so... Oh, sorry, I tabbed out during that cutscene, and I got what I deserved for it. Is I forgot that this isn't like, this isn't like a couple of other emulators that I've used where the controller will just keep working. What was I playing on recently that did that? I'm trying to recall. Well... whatever, moot point. I got obliterated, basically. I mean, that I don't think was the one, but there's definitely been some stuff that I've played where I've been able to just like run this while basically looking at OBS. It might have been MGBA, actually. Possibly, but also, I mean, those I was capturing off of real hardware, so that is a little bit different. No, the Emerald randomizer was using MGBA to do it because I don't have a GBA flash cart. I think it would actually, come to think of it, it might have been it's the Ocarina of Time randos, actually. Is that what I was running them on? Didn't really care that if I alt-tabbed to do anything with it. It's just like, yeah, I'll take the controller inputs anyway. Huh. Well, something about don't confuse all your programs with each other. And don't get too comfortable with something. I don't know where I'm going with this. There we go. We've beaten Big Arm, so that should be the end of things. Yeah, here we go into cutscene times. And yeah, MGBA is quite excellent. Oh, are we going to the Death Egg after this? Oh, geez, I thought this was the final boss. Nope, doesn't look like it. That might be something that requires all the Chaos Emeralds. Or something. Which, as we can tell, I did not get all of those at all. We did it, everybody. It's a credit sequence. I just wasn't sure what to say after this. Other than like, oh hey, yeah, 2 hours. What's next? I have no idea. Because I didn't have anything specifically prepared for this. Oh yeah, the Mega Man X8 demake is actually finished. You're right. That's probably still up there on the internet somewhere, shockingly enough. More Shadow the Hedgehog for an hour. I have to take a look at something on that one. And the something that I have to take a look at in this case involves memory cards. Well, emulation thereof. Because I did very recently update Dolphin, finally, after absolute years of not having done that. So I probably have to move my memory card folder from the previous install, because I still have that in there. To put that into a place where I can access it a little more easily for Shadow the Hedgehog. So I can have all that stuff in one place. You know. And yeah. And probably have to like switch the memory card over to... Why would it not still be there? Because somebody might have it taken down. I mean, I think Capcom usually is at least slightly more honorable than that. They're not fucking Nintendo most of the time. But most of the time is always the key issue is that, you know, who knows when a game company is going to decide otherwise, right? And all these companies wonder why they're fucking flagging. It's not because of that at all, actually, but listen. So what I'm gonna... Oh, I can't switch characters on this, can I? That's a pity. I could try going for more Chaos Emeralds, and we could try to, like, unscrew that, and that'll give me something to do for, like, an hour. But yeah, the X8 demake is out there. I haven't touched that since I played the demo version that was available a while ago. And the demo was pretty good, from what I remember. Other than the source material, but at the very least, it did seem like it was trying to make that work in the context of, like, the old 2D platformer style of Mega Man X. Did they ever change the music in any way? I don't necessarily know if anybody here is going to know that for sure. But I seem to recall, unsurprisingly, that back when the demo was the thing, it was using the original X8 music, and I thought that sounded a little bit weird with the 16-bit styled graphics. So I kind of wonder if they redid that in something that resembles a more SNESy sound palette. Just out of curiosity, really. I'll read the messages in a second once I'm done not screwing this up this time. Never mind. That is really embarrassing. That's actually worse than how I failed it the last time. Original music. Oh well. I'm actually not a great fan of the original X8 soundtrack. I'm not a great fan of the original X8 anything, to be quite honest with you, but I don't know. I think that the X8 soundtrack just feels a little bit like overkill, but mild complaint. Yeah, no other playable characters in the demake. I knew that. That's a main thing that I knew about, because, to be fair, that is probably a lot of work, so... Yeah, is that the guy who said that he was going to represent himself in court regarding the Nintendo lawsuit? Which is, like, the other wild part of the story. Yeah. Like, it definitely seems like Nintendo has really been on a bit of a thing with lawsuits lately. Because they've had a slightly greater density than usual of stories of things regarding lawsuits and, you know, putting the kibosh on a Switch emulator and pursuing people who are discussing emulating their games in videos, which, I mean, admittedly, I didn't think that was necessarily a safe option anyway. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of that going on lately, it seems like. And, I mean, honestly, I think that when it comes to any of the legacy stuff, they need to just... Like, on the one hand, I get it, but also on the other, guys, you're not doing anything with half of this shit in your library. Just let people be able to have access to it in some way. Obviously, there's always going to be some people who think that they are owed free anything. Because they do exist. Listen, I've spent enough time reading Pirate Bay's blog entries back before I had to access it through Tor to know that there's people out there who genuinely believe that about, especially about the music and film industry, but I digress. That time, I pushed a button too early. Well, I gotta think also that some of that stuff has to still be out there on the internet because nothing is truly that easy to remove. Yeah, the guy who's selling ROMs, I will say fuck that guy. As like just a, you know, what kind of a buffoon are you? That's actual theft. That's, you know, a lot of these people really wanted to try the tactic of saying, oh, hey, piracy is theft, and not really. I clearly don't agree with that. Because there is a great follow... You know, statistically, a lot of people who pirate shit actually end up buying it or have bought it already. So the stats that they want there are not really very real. Yes, Citra was taken down because it was also part of the same team that was behind Yuzu. And if I recall correctly, the Yuzu devs were, like, doing some snaky shit that was probably a little bit questionable. The Ryujinx developers, not quite so much, but also, boy oh boy, there were far too many people who were willing to not shut up about them in certain ways that I'm surprised it took as long as it did, really. I don't 100% know about if Nintendo only sues people who try to profit off of them, but I mean, again, that's a case where I'm like, yes, go ahead and go after those people because they actually are stealing from you. And, you know, it... Unfortunately, there is also, I think, the possibility that by saying that, you'll make some of them go, oh, what? So we have a license to go after people who sell their games secondhand too, and that's always a worry. Right, that's what I'm saying, is that Ryujinx seems to have actually been, like, fairly keeping their nose clean a little bit. As far as any stuff that's been, like, archived and posted somewhere, you probably don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff in a lot of cases. And in particular, I would certainly recommend that if that's something that you really want to get into, and this is about as much as I'll say on that particular end of things, is try to get membership to a private tracker of some description. Private torrent tracker. Well, Internet Archive might be a little bit hard right now because, yeah, they're being DDoSed by quite frankly, a fucking lunatic. Assuming that they're actually a private citizen, but, So, I mean, as far as Internet Archive things go, you might have to wait a couple of days, and also, goodness knows that that's actually going to be there, because There have been increasing instances of stuff getting yanked from the Internet Archive because of a variety of companies not wanting it to be distributed that way. Which is a whole complicated issue in and of itself, but as I say, if it's not something that is available commercially, I think that companies need to stop caring, or they need to start actually selling it. Because otherwise, who are you hurting with that? Incidentally, I should probably look and see if certain archived things elsewhere on the internet are still up there. And if not, I should stockpile those at some point. I've still got a chunk of hard drive space around. Because, yeah, quite a lot of that stuff is like actual research material in my case, because, you know, they're magazines, is what I'm saying. Contain interviews and stuff. It's history and historical information. But, yeah, as far as that software goes, yeah, if emulation is a thing you are interested in, get yourself into a private torrent tracker if you're able to, because otherwise, you know, that's just the safest place and generally the thing that you're most sure of it being able to stay there. You know, saying this completely off the record, and I'm not necessarily recommending that anyone do it. Think of it rather as I'm quoting statistics. Obviously, that's a sentiment that wouldn't hold up anywhere if, you know. But also, if a corporation wants to bully someone who gets 3 views per piece of content, like, you've lost the argument already there, haven't you? Because at that point, that's like the corporate equivalent of a midlife crisis, I think. Say porn instead, much less obvious. Jeez. No, I'm talking about some video game magazines. I won't say which one, but I will say that it's one that there's fair cause to be like, hey, yeah, I could... Someone archiving it on the internet, it could disappear. Alright, see you later. Anyway, let's talk about something that is slightly different. And, you know, I'd say less likely to get me in trouble, but also, again, as I've kind of emphasized, I am nobody, so if somebody starts crawling up my ass for that, that's like, genuinely, what do you hope to gain? And if anyone were to ever hear about it, you would just be hurt for it. Because people would just be like, okay, that's just senselessly cruel. Unless it's Nintendo doing it, in which case, well, they've got enough slobbering, drooling zombie fanboys that they'd probably actually come out ahead for it. But, you know. Ah! Dang it! Ugh! I thought I pressed the button. I did press it. I just pressed it like half of the way too late. Oh, right. Yeah. I'm still mad about failing that bonus stage because I did it fine. Again, grid movement can be a real jerk. Let's just see if we can get through the beginning of Hydro City Act 2 without dying this time. And that may be where we, Wow, did we land 2 hits on that thing earlier? Wow. And that may be where we just leave off. Because otherwise I'm just continuing to play this because I don't know what else to do. I mean, I could load up Balatro and I could fail at another run real quick. I've been on a bit of... I haven't been on the warmest streak lately, I'll say that. But, otherwise, I don't really have a game that I think I can do in, like, 40 minutes. Yeah, and we did this with... We died. Because, yeah. Because this area is kind of bad. As I think I've made clear before. Is this where it stops? That's where it stops, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like most video games, really, so... Eh. If I knew what I was gonna play next, which I'm still kind of torn on a few options. It'll be a longer game, though, to shuffle things up. I would start that, but unfortunately, I don't know what I'm doing yet. What's going on over there? And see, that looks like a place where we can get in there, but this time not so much. Hey, that time we actually got the invincibility as we hit the spring, which is good, because otherwise we would have taken a hit from that weird snail thing. Okay, which one is this? That's right, this is the 2 lanes weird square thing here. I was doing that for a reason. I wanted to line this up. And then I screw this up. Well, no perfect for us. At the very least, I guess we get to continue. Alright, now here we start going this way. I did it again. Frame too late. It was getting pretty fast, though, to be fair, so that's just... Yeah. Hey, we got an extra life, though, and a continue, so that will extend our... I'm not actually going to play this that much more, really. I don't remember how to do the level select in this game, actually. I remember there was one. I seem to recall that it required you had to do some inputs quite quickly between the Sega logo and between the actual, like, title screen coming up, which is a very short period of time. Okay, so it's up, up, down, down, up, 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 up. That's not actually that hard. I just have to actually do that in the amount of space allotted. I was gonna say, do I have a... Can I, like, control R or something to reset? Key bindings. This'll tell me how to set all this stuff. That's... in controllers. Yeah, no, I didn't think there was a I didn't think there was a reset button anywhere on the controller. That would be a big questionable idea here. Yeah, so at that point it would basically be like, hey, yeah, run your lives out. Very odd that there isn't just like an immediately hotkeyed reset or a reset button there. Oh, I almost thought we were gonna drown there if I had pulled left hard enough. That would have felt like a fitting way to end the stream. But, I digress. Okay, so that... I thought that's how we got up there before, wasn't it, though? Ah, crap. Well... Oh no, it was over here. Okay. Never mind, I was just being an idiot. I forgot already how this entire level worked. For some reason. Probably because the main thing that there is to remember is like right at the beginning, and it's terrible. And it's shorter than you think, but it always feels like it takes forever because... like, it's terrible. That's what I get for getting greedy. Oh well.